Can. And number 9 out in the draw will be Madison Davey riding Knick Knack. So that'll be for the second round of our AM5 Open class. Mr. Rob Button and his official course team just resetting the jump-off course. And our fences in our second round, or our jump-off, fences number 1, 11, 3, 7, 8A, 8B, and fence number 10. Time allowed in the jump-off is 60 seconds. Those of you that aren't familiar with show jumping rules, every 1 second over the time allowed in the jump-off, they will receive 1 time penalty. So we welcome out our first combination in the second round of the jump-off of our Open AM5 class. All our clear rounds coming back, a total of 9. Ron Easy, Hills included. This horse is bred by Charlie Hill down at Corindi. So Charlie Hill, the son of the legendary Theo Hill, and Theo Hill is one of the pioneers in the Australian Stock Horse Society. It's only one of the foundation sires in Abbey. A lot of Australian stock horses, or most Australian stock horse, trace back to that wonderful descendant of Abbey. And you would have heard Guy McLean talk about Abbey, or you will hear Guy talk about Abbey during his shows. Foundation sire all those years ago when the Australian Stock Horse Society started. Just the one rail down there for Hills included and Ron Easy. 39.57 is the time. Just carrying the 4 jumping penalties at fence number 3. So Simon Bentley will be our next rider, followed by Sarah Abel. If those riders could please just be on standby. So we have Simon Bentley on course, riding Angry Angus. Man that spent a lot of time down at Innisfail. They nowadays are based here in Cairns. Simon Bentley there riding Angry Angus. One rail down, 4 jumping penalties. Time of 44.50. So on standby, we'll require Ron Easy and then Kayla Russell. That'll be the order of our next few competitors. Welcome out now, our next rider. This will be Sarah Abel. Sarah comes to us from Malanda. It's her first time competing here at the Cairns Show. She's riding Laurel Glen Raj. He's 15 years of age. Sarah's owned Raj for approximately 6 months. Sarah's been competing in show jumping events for the past year and a half. Well done, that's a lovely clear round for Sarah Abel riding Laurel Glen Raj. No jumping penalties, no time penalties. And we have a time of 41.06. That is well inside the time allowed of 60 seconds. So unofficially, that will be our new leader in the competition, Sarah Abel and Laurel Glen Raj. Double Impact is the name of the next horse. And Ron Easy. Kayla Russell, if you could please be on standby, Kayla. Thank you for your wonderful cooperation. So Ron Easy and Double Impact. Said Ron's been competing here at Cairns for 37 years. A life member of the Cairns Show Society. He was inducted a few years ago by President Mr. Ian Allen and the team. Been running some very successful schools for all the children here in the far north Queensland region. And he's coming down to the final fence. And all clear for Ron Easy and Double Impact. 35.91. And unofficially, that'll see him go to the lead. 35.91. But the young lady coming now out on the arena surface, wearing a beautiful pink shirt. She can't be mistaken in those colours here today. Here's Kayla Russell. Kayla's actually a thoroughbred trainer. She's had a wonderful strike rate at the Cairns races in previous times. A wonderful meeting was held here in Cairns yesterday. She's got a 100% strike rate down at the Innisfail Racecourse. We've seen her daughter Miley take out our first class here this morning, the Lions Club Cairns Junior Show Jumping Championship event. Well done, Kayla Russell's all clear. 37.89. So cantering forward now, we have Zoe Green riding Snowy River Billy Jim. Thanks to Zoe. That was Zoe Grant riding Stony River Village Gym. 39.79. And the 3 rails down, 12 jumping penalties in the jump-off round for our AM5 championship class. Following this event, we will reset our course for our Jim Barlow Memorial Open Junior 16 years and under AM7 class. In the crowd now is our next rider that has entered our show jumping arena. Riding Kentucky Fancy Diva. Well, a wonderful round there for Linda Crabb. 33.30, all clear. Unofficially, new leader in the competition, 33.30, the new leading time. Fancy Diva and Linda Crabb. So we get our buzzer in the background, signifying our next rider to proceed. Danielle Camp is our rider from Ingham, riding Can. $34.56 and 4 jumping penalties for our last rider in our show jumping arena. So I do believe that will wrap up things in our AM5 under 16 point championship class. We will have our winner and place getters to hand very, very shortly. And then we will reset our course for class number 6, the Jim Barlow Memorial Open Junior 16 years and under AM7 class. And coming up later on this afternoon, we will be back with our ridden classes in rings 2, 3, and our harness classes for our small horses in ring number 4. In our harness classes here this afternoon, we will have our pony 14 hands and under in ring number 4, our horse over 14 hands, our heavy horse in harness, also have our lady driver, our gentleman driver, our harness turnout for all harness horses and ponies, historical turnout vehicle, and our driving course as well. So we'll bring the results out of our show jumping arena here very, very shortly as the paperwork comes through. So we have our results coming through for our AM5 under 16 point class, and our first place getter was Linda Crabb. And Linda was riding Kentucky Fancy Diva, a jump off time of 33.30. Second place goes to Ron Easy, riding Double Impact, with a jump off time of 35.91. Third place goes to Kayla Russell with a jump off time of 37.84. Fourth place goes to Sarah Abel, riding Laurel Glen Raj, with a jump off time of 41.06. And our fifth money goes to Daniel Camp, riding Riverside King Ken, with a jump off time of 35.56 and 4 jumping penalties. So once again we make the presentation in centering. Congratulations, Linda, taking our first place. Second place, Ron Easy. Third place, Kayla Russell. Fourth place, Sarah Abel. And Danielle Kemp was our fifth place getter. So well done to all of our riders. And I might hand the microphone over to Linda to say a few words. Thanks very much, Linda.
Thank you. Congratulations, the other competitors. And I'd like to thank Underwood Party Hire for sponsoring this event and all the organisers and officials. Thank you.
Well done. Thanks very much, Linda. So well done as our show jumping riders now will parade in front of us here in the Clive Gordon show jumping arena. Congratulations, Linda Crabb taking out first place. Second place, Ron Easy. Third place, Kayla Russell. Fourth place, Sarah Abel. And fifth place, Danielle Camp. Well done to all of our riders.
we're getting underway with our ridden classes very shortly in rings 2, 3 and 4. It's in ring number 2. We will be starting with our ridden mare or filly in our answer classes, followed by class number 97, the ridden gelding. Then we will have the judging of our champion and reserve champion ridden answer. Our harness classes in ring number 4 also here this afternoon for our harness horses. We have our pony classes, we have our horses over 14 yams, our heavy horse in harness. We'll also have the judging of our champion and reserve champion harness horse, of our lady and gentleman driver, our harness turnout for all harness horses and ponies, our historical turnout vehicle, of our driving course. That's in ring number 4. So we have our working classes for our adult rider, for our working hack Australian stock horse pattern. We have our working stock horse, our station hack. So we have our hack pattern for our first class, class number 98. They'll be judged on their type, presentation and overall impression, and that is judged out of a possible 10 points. They'll then be required to walk from judge to A, and A they canter on their right lead, half circle around to an imaginary X. This is on the hack pattern in our show program, so all of our competitors know what they are required to do. Another possible 10 points up for grabs for section number 2 from the walk from the judge to A, and A canter on the right lead, half circle to X. Then at X, they're required to do a flying change. And what we mean by a flying change is they don't come down through to a transition to a trot. They must canter into centre line, and then the horse must change his front lead, front and hind lead, to the offside. They'll canter on the left half of the circle and continue along back of the area. Halfway along the back of the area, then they're required to come down to their trot. And they'll be tracked left down diagonally and lengthen stride. So the judge will be looking for a nice free-moving horse when we speak about the lengthened stride. And then they turn right and trot back to the judge. So it's all out of a possible 100 points up for grab with our hack patterns. We have our working stock horse, our station hack, both for our adult and junior rider. We've had a wonderful morning in our lead classes here this morning. Of course, our champion led Australian saddle pony was Ridge Park Royal Serenade, exhibited by Samantha LeBrock. Kimberly Cochran won the champion thoroughbred exhibit with KC Miss Roadshow. Kimberly's been a very successful competitor here at the Cairns Show for many, many years. And she had a lovely thoroughbred exhibit, KC Miss Roadshow, a 12-year-old mare that she won champion with here this morning. Pat Jernicke won the champion Australian stock horse with his beautiful Australian stock horse, Scorch and Dry. Renee Simpson was the winner of the champion Australian national saddle horse with our Kira Conquest. So won champion Warm Blood with that horse. Our champion any other registered horse breed or society. Our champion was awarded to Sandra Buckingham with her beautiful exhibit, Absolutely a Playboy. Our serve champion went to Kimberly Cochran with KC Royal Time. And as we said, we made the very special presentation for the Supreme Champion lead horse of the show. Rika Ainge kindly donated a beautiful garland and prize money for $100, and that was awarded to Sam LeBrock with Ridge Park Royal Serenade. So we'll be back very shortly in our show jumping arena. And our written classes will also commence very shortly. We'd like to take this opportunity and thank all of our wonderful partners here at this year's 116th running of the Cairns Show. We have Platinum Electricians Cairns, the Business Liaison Association, ABC Far North, the Wind Network Channel 9, McLeod's Painting, Pac Mag, Cairns FM 89.1, Inspired Signs, Bendigo Bank, Peter Boswell Lawyers, Ergon Energy, Great Northern Brewing Company, Cairns Taxi, 7 Local News, Telstra, Oasis Magazine, North Queensland Radio. We have Tosco Office National, Events Rural, Dairy Farmers, Joe Vella Insurance, Norlift Cairns, Tosco Office National, and lots of printing. On behalf of the Cairns Show Society President, Ms. Diane Allen, we'd like to say a very special thank you to all of our wonderful partners, and thank all of our volunteers from all sections, not only here in Centering but right around the grounds, whether it be with our beef cattle, our dairy cattle, our poultry, our waterfowls, also all of our horticulture, our fruit and vegetables, our cooking displays, our sugarcane exhibitors. Don't forget to check out the Fred Mole Exhibition Centre with all of our wonderful exhibitors here at this year's show. And it is really a coming of everybody's hard work over the past 12 months. As we all know, no shows anywhere in Australia last year due to the impacts of COVID. There's over 600 shows conducted annually around Australia, and it is the largest volunteer organisation in Australia as the show movement. It injects over $600 million into the Australian economy. So it's wonderful to be back here in Cairns in 2021, and it's lovely to welcome you all out here this afternoon. We look forward to a wonderful nighttime program where we will have Airtime FMX, formerly known as Showtime FMX, but with a new brand change. We're released at the Sydney Royal Easter Show this year, and Brad Birch and all the experienced freestyle motocross riders will be flying through the night sky tonight with the greatest of ease. We'll have Guy McLean with his beautiful Australian stock horses also performing here in front of our Channel 7 stage. We'll have our first heat of our esky racing at 5 p.m. this afternoon. The esky racing presented by Triple M. We'll have the lovely Miss Beck Den from Triple M as your host for the esky racing. We'll have our pole climbing qualifying heats for the Novice Queensland Championships presented by Ergon Energy and Cairns Taxi. Guy McLean will perform at 7 p.m. At 7:15 it will be Airtime FMX presented by Platinum Electrics. Garanda PCYC, our dance group, will be performing on the Channel 7 stage tonight, and they'll be performing at 7:35. We have another heat of our esky racing at 7:45. 8:05 Guy McLean. 8:10 tonight Airtime FMX. And at 8:30 tonight we will have Explosive Arts Fireworks presented by Stoddart Security. Mr. Mike Newman and the team from Explosive Art Fireworks. It's wonderful to welcome them to this year's Cairns show. And you are going to be in for a treat tonight, boys and girls. And as we look out across the main ring here tonight, we see all the wonderful rides performing here at this year's Cairns show. So boys and girls, make sure you do go and check them out. We'll be back very shortly here in Centering with the next of our show jumping events. It's lovely to welcome you all out here this afternoon. Zoe Grant down there at the stables, if you could hear this message, if a member of your team or yourself could just come forward and see the show jumping judge in Centering. And don't forget to check out all of the wonderful independent traders, all of our wonderful independent food traders. We've got the RACQ, Semi-Trailer, Big Al's Bar Supplies. Got a wonderful lineup of food exhibitors, so you certainly won't go hungry here this year at the Cairns show. I'd also like to welcome Shannon's Chips. We've got Clyde and Pam and Steve Horridge from Shannon's Chips. Make sure you do check them out while you're at the show. They're situated next to the Woodfire Pizza. So plenty of wonderful, yummy, tasty food exhibitors here at this year's show. And it's just wonderful to be back here at the show in 2021 with the sights, the smells and the enjoyment. And you're certainly going to enjoy what we're going to see this afternoon. 2, 1, 2, test 1, 2. 1, 2, test 1, 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, just before we do commence back in centering, I've got a very, very special guest here in our broadcast box. And it's wonderful to welcome all of our special guests to this year's Cairns Show, and it's lovely to welcome the 2020 and 2021 Cairns Show Young Rural Ambassador, Catherine English. Catherine, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
Catherine, tell me what's involved being the Young Rural Ambassador?
Just getting youth involved in the agricultural show movement and primary industries, and just promoting that they need to be continuing to support the shows.
Well, agriculture is a very important part of our way of life now, and it's wonderful to see here at the Cairns Show, and I know I was at the Belanda Show, at your hometown show, and to keep that emphasis, that focus on agriculture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really important, and it's becoming a more and more necessity of life. We're not going to be able to survive without it.
Well, gone are the days where, you know, most children grow up now with a dairy cow in their backyards where they get the fresh milk every day, and it's just wonderful to have all the young children come to our shows. I know yourself, you come from a big line of dairy farmers over there at Belanda, and all the children that come through the animal nurseries and check out all the wonderful animals to get that taste, that feel of country. It's just something very special. So tell us, what's your role here at the show? Obviously you've got plenty of engagements, plenty of functions you're attending.
Yeah, just public relations and just involving the youth, trying to be at as many events as I can, presenting ribbons, just interacting with the public. And other exhibitors, so yeah.
Oh, well done. And how old are you, Catherine?
I have recently turned 18.
Well, happy birthday recently. So what's your career path?
I'm a teacher aide at Malanda Primary School at the moment, but also doing full-time milking cows.
How many cows do you milk every morning?
At my job I'm doing about 230, but at home it's about 200.
So how many dairy farms approximately around the Malanda region?
Probably about 45 or so, maybe a few more, a few less, but that is dramatically lower than what it has been in previous years.
And the dairy industry, of course, it's a hard slog, isn't it? Of course, what time do you start milking every morning? 4 o'clock or something like that?
Yeah, every day I'm up at 4 o'clock, go and milk the cows. Usually back home by a bit after 8, but then I've got to go to the school and teach, so yeah.
They're long days, aren't they? 7 days a week too, isn't it? Milking the cows.
Yeah, we don't get a break from milking cows. They got to be milked every day, including Christmas and our birthdays, so yeah.
So boys and girls, when you go to the supermarket and you buy your milk, you've just got to remember all the hard work and the hours and all the preparation, of course, growing the crops, keeping the cows nice and healthy. It takes years and years, of course, to keep that great bloodlines in all of the milking cows. So just when you go to the supermarket, of course, they're always trying to cut the prices of milk. I guess, Catherine, you're more aware of that than me. What's milk sort of currently sitting at now?
Possibly, I think dairy farmers' milk at the moment is $1 per litre in the supermarket, which isn't really much when you do think about how much work does go on behind the scenes and that.
Well, it certainly isn't. I was at the Mareeba cattle sale yesterday. There was 1,500 head of cattle penned at Mareeba, and they averaged over $1,500 per head. That's beef cattle. They're sold to abattoirs, restockers, feedlots. So when you're talking about, you know, $1 a litre of milk, it doesn't really add up, does it? With all the costs, because the costs keep going up, don't they? To operate your farm, you've got fuel, you've got labour. You know, it all adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and it's just hard to see so many dairy farmers struggling at the moment, and it's an industry that we do need to keep to survive.
Well, I was down at the Gympie show. I have the privilege to go down and announce at the Gympie show every year, and it's always a great show, and it was always a big dairy area, and they were telling me down there this year there's only 6 dairies left in that whole Gympie region. It's quite sad.
Yeah, it is, and yeah.
Not much more we can add there, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a pleasure to welcome Catherine to the broadcast box. If you see her making her way around the grounds, she is the 2020-2021 Young Rural Ambassador. Have you got any words of advice for anybody coming behind you? Because we need the next generation to come through in our showgirl comps, our young ambassadors, or just even be a volunteer on our show societies to keep our show movement alive.
Yeah, I think just start out volunteering for your local show society. You make so many connections and it leads to opportunities like this, and I'm forever grateful of the work that the Cairns Show Association have done for me, and it's just a great experience. So I'd recommend it to any young people. Doesn't matter where you're from, you don't need to be from a farming family, you can be from anywhere. So yeah, thank you.
Good on you. Beautifully spoken, and lovely to meet you once again. I had the privilege of meeting Catherine at the Innisfail show last Thursday and Friday, and she is the 2020-2021 Cairns Show Young Rural Ambassador. Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you can see, our show jumping riders are walking our course for a very special class here this afternoon, and it is the Jim Barlow Memorial Open Junior 16 years and under. It is an AM7 class, and we're back underway with our ridden classes in both rings 2 and 3. And I do believe our light harness classes won't be too far away from commencing in ring number 4. So we'll take a short break, and we'll be back very, very shortly. Well, looks like our first horse and rider is not too far away from coming out in our centre ring for our show jumping event for the Jim Barlow Memorial Open Junior 16 years and under AM7 class. We have 11 fences in the first round with a combination at 4A and 4B, 11 fences and 12 jumping efforts. Welcome back our judges into our written classes here this afternoon. We have Jadana Landy, Miss Margot Warnett, and our third judge judging here this year is Riker Range. It's lovely to welcome back those three lovely ladies into our Clive Gordon main arena. Now, Clive Gordon main arena is sponsored by Cairns Post. Keep up to date with all the latest happenings here at this year's Cairns show. Make sure you grab yourself a copy of the Cairns Post, not only at showtime, but 52 weeks of the year. They keep you up to date with all the latest happenings in North Queensland, and we thank them for their wonderful support. That's the Cairns Post, sponsored Clive Gordon Arena. So Dallas Bailey is our first show jumping rider. Willard Charleston is the horse that he is riding. One of the more larger horses that we'll see competing in our show jumping here this week at Cairns. Willard Charleston, a well-bred warm blood horse. And Dallas is a great rider. He comes to us from Mackay. Got a wonderful team of horses up to this year's Cairns show. And a wonderful hometown show at Mackay. It was a brilliant 3 days down there this year for the 142nd running the Mackay show this year. And he is our first horse on course. Thanks, Dallas. That was Dallas Bailey, our first competitor out, riding Willard Charleston. He's actually HC, so he is not officially competing in our event, but it was just a great learning curve because Willard Charleston's only a young horse, and it was a great way to give the horse a look at the arena and the surface here at Cairns. This is the Jim Barlow Memorial Open Junior competition for our junior riders 16 years and under. course now in our show jumping arena we have Bo Little. Bo Little is riding All Spice. Bo runner comes to us from Ravenshoe. Actually won the Angus and Vicky Lane junior show jumping class earlier on this morning. Well done, Bo. All clear here in the first round. Lovely clear round. There were some lovely fences. Mr. Rob Button, our course builder from here in Cairns. It's great to have Rob here at the show this year as our official course builder. So course builders have to go through the requirements to be qualified to be a course builder at any agricultural show or any show jumping event in Australia. And as we see, it is an AM7 class, so if they have a clear round, they move straight into their second round of the competition. Well done, Bo. All clear in the second phase. Riding All Spice. I spoke about the AM7 class. Athletes who have completed their preliminary round without penalties must proceed to the jump off without leaving the arena. The bell must be rung again until they signal the athlete to start the jump off course. The 45-second countdown applies. And now it looks like from the broadcast box we welcome out Mr. Jude Dawson. Jude's 14 years of age. He comes to us from Malanda. He rides this brilliant little bay horse he calls Easywood Bingo. This horse originated from down at Tamworth in New South Wales. He's actually an Australian quarter horse. He's 15 years of age. Been a wonderful horse for the Dawson family. And he was first campaigned by Mr. Ron Easy and owned by Ron Easy's great friend, Mr. Ross Greenwood. With our first written result coming through here this afternoon for class number 1089, the Ridden Stallion, any breeds eligible. And our winner here this afternoon was Pat Jenke with his Australian stock horse exhibit, Scotch and Dry. Well done, Pat. Long-time supporter of the Cairns show. There's a beautiful Australian stock horse stallion. Of course, this year, a big year, the Australian Stock Horse Society celebrating 50 years. And, Pat, no doubt, would have that beautiful 50th anniversary Australian Stock Horse saddlecloth. Well, safely over the final fence for Jude Dawson, riding Easywood Bingo. They rail down at fence number 8. You can see our ground staff assembling the rails. So 2 rails down it looks like, so 8 jumping penalties. So I'd like to welcome back into the arena here this afternoon our 2 official red coats. We have Miss Talina Young and Miss Leonie Lewis. They do a wonderful job. Thank you very much, ladies. And as our big presentations come up this afternoon and throughout the course of tomorrow and Friday, in front of the Clive Gordon sign, you will see our two lovely ladies mounted on their beautiful horses dressed in red. So Tristan Pye is our next show jumping rider. Tristan is a local rider from here in Cairns. Drives coming through for our ridden warm blood, class number 1094, winner of the Red Mare or Filly. Jodie Longley is our first place getter with her nomination, Davril Fergie. Jodie's been a long time competitor at the Cairns show as well. It's lovely to welcome her out here this afternoon. Well, unfortunately, bad luck there for young Tristan Pye. Not the afternoon that he was hoping for. Tristan had a great Innisfail show last week and not only competes in show jumping and boy rider classes, but he's also a leading junior bull rider. The rodeo circuit, he competed last Saturday at the Mareeba Rodeo. And he's represented Australia at the World Junior Bull Riding title. So he's certainly an all-round competitor, that's for sure. We also have our big screen in centre ring, and that's been presented here this year by Camco Television, a Cairns-based company, and we are live streaming our centre ring this year, so our live stream going right around Australia. A very good afternoon and welcome to all of our viewers on the live stream. It's lovely to have you with us here this afternoon on day number 1 of the 116th running of the Cairns show. We welcome out our next show jumping rider. This is Sarah Dearlow. Sarah has already won a class earlier on today. She's 15 years of age. She's from Tolga. And Namimi, also sired by Washpool Lodge Classic, well-known thoroughbred horse. He's bought 3 horses to this year's Cairns show, including Kentucky Sunset, the 16-year-old mare, and Atana, another horse that she will be riding, who is a 14-year-old gelding. Lovely to welcome her mother, Kirsty, and Kirsty's been over there doing the wonderful job penciling in the show jumping judges box, and also Sister Henry, who I do believe has taken over the penciling duties, so thank you very much. Well done, Sarah. Sarah Dearlove riding MeBee. Clear round, and of course, Sarah will be turning 16 years of age on Saturday. A wonderful birthday present to win another class here at this year's Cairns Show. Cello Stower now, our next rider coming forward. Riding her nomination, Dream Catcher. Results coming through now for our saddle ponies for class number 1037. Our Ribbon Gelding, 13.2 hands and under. First place, Kayla Kokoroto riding Bellevale Performing Arts. In second place, Sophie Catarine riding Ray Park Jim Bean. That was for class number 1037. Ribbon Gelding, 13.2 hands and under. The next class we will be judging will be class number 1038. Our Ribbon Gelding over 13.2 hands and under 14.2. Thanks, Hunter. That was Hunter O'Donnell riding her nomination Smart Art. Don't forget, boys and girls, over there at the Animal Farm, Melville's Animal Farm, Craig Melville and his wife Ruth have brought a new attraction to this year's Cairns show, and that is the wonderful duck races. And our next heat will be coming up at 4 p.m. this afternoon, so make sure you go over and check out those duck races. The time now is 2:39. Been a wonderful attraction at all the shows that I've attended this year. At the Rockhampton show, over 8,000 people went through the Animal Farm. There's a big crowd went through the Animal Farm at the show Whitsunday. And recently, last Saturday at the Mareeba Rodeo, over 5,000 people went through Craig's Animal Farm. So go over and check it out. It's wonderful. It's great to have Craig, former local from here in Cairns. Nowadays, he's based down at Townsville. That's Melville's Animal Farm, and check out those great duck races. You've got the Dairy Farmers Pavilion, the Animal Nursery. Plenty of great things to see and do right around the beautiful showground precinct. So our next show jumping rider comes forward. That is Tristan Pye, local rider. And Tristan is riding in the sack. Don't forget to pick up your copy of the Camp Show program as you enter the showground. There are copies situated right around the grounds, but that gives you all the up-to-date happenings, the free things to do, the showgrounds map, the entertainment program, and to check out Sideshow Alley, the wonderful excitement down Sideshow Alley. And isn't that a wonderful sight? Look at all those great rides, boys and girls. We've got all those leading rides from all the leading show families from right around Australia. The Extreme Ride, the Beach Ride, the beautiful Ferris wheel, everybody's favourite, the Dodgem cars. They're all here. And head on down to Showbag Warehouse and say good day to Gordon Richards and his wonderful team and grab one of those great show bags. So we have results coming through now for class number 1038. It's for the written gelding over 13.2 hands and under 14.2 hands in our saddle ponies. And our first place getter was Renee Simpson. Well done, Renee. Renee comes to us from down the road at Innisfail. She's been a very successful competitor. She's been Supreme Champion rider here on many occasions at the Cairns show. She was riding her nomination Cod. Second place going to Victoria Bartlett, riding Hollywood Hot Gossip. Now third place getter was young Wiley Russell from down at the Vertigan, riding Houston Carlos. So coming forward now in our show jumping arena, we have Jude Dawson. Jude Dawson is riding Flash for Cash. Jude's second nomination in the class. Jude's 13 years of age. He's been riding since he was 3. And Flash for Cash is a 9-year-old gelding that was bred by Mr. Alan Samuels from Bundaberg. All clear in the first round for Jude Dawson and Flash for Cash, being an AM7 class. We now have the combination moving straight in onto their jump off. Young man Peter with great success at his hometown show at Malanda only a few short weeks ago. The record crowd through the gates at this year's Malanda show. Over 5,000 people there for People's Day. I'd like to welcome Mr. Greg English, the president of the Malanda Show Society, down to this year's Cairns show. Greg is one of our dairy exhibitors. He's got over 20 head of cattle here this year, and spoke to his young daughter Catherine, who is the young royal ambassador of the Cairns Show Society for 2020 and 2021. Well, bad luck there for Jude Dawson, jumping the wrong fence in the jump off. The English family have been, Greg English has been exhibiting dairy cattle here at the Cairns Show since 1980, so some 41 years. Wonderful to have all of our dairy exhibitors, along with our beef cattle exhibitors here this year as well. We've got some 40 head of beef cattle, and breeds include the Brahman cattle, the Drought Masters, the Gelvies, the Murray Greys, Australia's very own breed. David Little and Hugo Boss. Bo Little and Hugo Boss are our next combination in our show jumping arena from Ravenshoe. As our rails are put in place by our wonderful ground crew, don't they do a wonderful job? They're all volunteers, so thank you very much. Tristan Pye, local rider, 14 years of age. And he will be coming forward now in a big strong canter. Has 45 seconds to come down through the starting line. And he is riding Jewel of the Crowd. Tristan Pride riding Jewel of the Crown, 1 rail down, 4 jumping penalties. We have our results coming through for our champion ridden thoroughbred exhibitor, the 2021 Cairns Show. Congratulations to Katie Kazarine, local rider, her nomination Little Gold Dingo. Also had wonderful success in the show jumping arena, because thoroughbreds are best known for its use in horse racing, are known for their agility, speed and spirit. Thoroughbreds arrived in Australia during the 19th century. They were developed in the 17th and 18th century in England, where native mares were crossed with imported Oriental stallions or Arabian barb and Turkoman breeding. And as we see nowadays, we have the wonderful off-the-track programs for rehoming of thoroughbred horses. And if you caught that wonderful story of a 3 times TJ Smith Group winning racehorse in Chautauqua on the Racing.com channel only a few short weeks ago, and you can see the preparation and the journey that horse is on at the moment to make it to the show ring. Just months and months of training and preparation have gone into getting our thoroughbred horses into the show ring at the highest level. And certainly looking forward to seeing Chautauqua, because he certainly does take your eye, that beautiful grey horse. But thousands and thousands and thousands of thoroughbred horses, part of the rehoming program. We see them in our ridden, our leg classes, and also heavily utilised in our show jumping arena as well. And Mr. Ron Easy, our Olympian rider from the Sydney Olympics, who's a life member of the Cairns Show Society, has utilised thoroughbred horses all of his professional show jumping career. So they are a marvellous animal, very, very intelligent, and congratulations to Katie Kazzarini. She shows the versatility of the thoroughbred. 1 minute competing in the show jumping arena, and then taking out the champion ridden thoroughbred exhibit. So congratulations. So I do believe that will wind down the Jim Barlow Memorial Junior Championship class. We will have our winner and place getters very, very shortly, but congratulations to all of our young junior riders. Wonderful to see so many young riders participating here at this year's Cairns Show. And a lot of our young riders we've watched here today in a show jumping arena have recently been to a Ron Easy show jumping clinic. Ron conducted a wonderful 4-day clinic at Malanda, and I'd like to thank Ron, and he's been a great educator of the next generation of show jumping riders. We'll have a result very shortly. we have our results coming through from our show jumping arena for the Jim Barlow Memorial Junior Show Jumping Championship. And congratulations, our first place getter Sarah Dealer riding Me. Second place going to Bo Little. Third place, Bo Little as well, riding his second nomination, Hugo Boss. Our fourth place getter was Jude Dawson riding Flash for Cash. And fifth place been awarded to Tristan Pye riding Jewel of the Crown. So congratulations if those riders could come forward, and we will make the presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are making the presentation in Settering for our champions in our Jim Barlow Memorial Championship class. So, congratulations, Sarah Dearlove taking out first place. So congratulations, Sarah Dearlove, taking out our show jumping event, riding Meebe. That was the Jim Barlow Memorial Championship class. So our next class we will have will be the Underwood Party Hire Open AM7 class. Very much to Louis Underwood and the team from Underwood Party Hire, your event specialists. And following that, our final show jumping class this afternoon will be the Showman's Guild of Australasia sponsored 1 metre 30 show jumping championship class. Once again, lovely to welcome you all out here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And, we have our ridden classes. We can see our ridden Australian stock horses currently being judged in centre ring. We also have our Australian Pony Stuntbook Society ponies under saddle with our ridden mare 13 hands and under. You also have the mare over 13 hands. Class number 41, the ridden gelding 13 hands and under. So coming up at 5 o'clock this afternoon, we have our Esky Racing, and our heats are presented by Triple M. 5:20 this afternoon, we will have our Welcome to Country, our national anthem, the Warrior State High School Marching Band. At 6 p.m, we have our pole climbing qualifying heats here at the Cairns Show for our novice competitors, Queensland Championships, presented by Ergon Energy and Cairns Taxis. So our first rider coming forward in our show jumping arena now for our next championship class this afternoon, the Underwood Party Hire Open AM7. So they're clear in the first phase, so we'll move straight into the second round, and it's local rider Bridget Allison riding Missing Link. Thank you, Bridget. That was Bridget Allison riding Missing Link. With the 2 rails down, covering the 8 jumping penalties. Danielle Kemp will be our next show jumping rider from Ingham. Riding Can. Danielle placed in our AM5 class earlier on this afternoon. Well, clearing the first page for Danielle Kemp and Can. Now, as we said, AM7 class, so now they proceed straight into their jump off. Results coming through now for class number 10-4-1, the Red and Gelding 13 and hands and under, purebreds only for our Australian Pony Saddle Books. Ponies under saddle, and our first place getter was Sophie Kazarine. Result for class number 1043, Ridden Mare, 13.2 hands and under. Kimberly Cockram riding Newington Birthday Girl. 4 jumping penalties for Danielle Kemp riding Can. So the buzzer sounds in the background. Our next show jumping rider coming forward. And it will be Bud Williamson from Ayr. Bud riding Dawna Moore. 3 rails down for Bud Williamson. 12 jumping penalties. 83.61 was the time. And a big thank you to Win News, Far North Queensland, weeknight from 5:30 p.m. And the Win Network are proudly presenting us Mr. Guy McLean. You'll see Guy, part of our night show here tonight. He'll be performing at 7 p.m. So boys and girls, make sure you are here at our main arena for our nighttime program, which will be getting underway at 5 o'clock this afternoon. First heats of our esky races. Our pole climbing novice championships, Airtime FMX, presented by Platinum Electrics, Tucky Fancy Diva and Linda Crab. The next combination to go, a local rider. Linda was a winner already earlier on today of one of our classes. Great combination, these two. She was the winner of the AM5 championship class. Well, without our wonderful sponsors, the show wouldn't survive in 2021. So a big thank you to Tosco Office National. Tosco Office National is proudly locally owned and operated. It's overseen North Queensland community since 1958. Located in both Cairns and Townsville, Tosco Office National will tailor solutions to you, suit your individual business needs with local expert team specialised in stationery and office products, education, cleaning and janitorial supplies, commercial furniture and fit-outs, kitchen and canteen supplies, and print and equipment solutions. Norlift Cans, who are proudly one of our great sponsors for our Airtime FMX motocross team this year. When your business needs a lift, proudly sponsoring the Cairns show, established over 18 years ago, they specialise in forklift hire, sales, service and spare parts. Proudly servicing from Tully through to Mossman, and proud to be appointed the Hyundai forklift dealer for Far North Queensland. Joe Villa Insurance, want to know more about the JVIB has to offer? Why not visit their website at www.jvib.com.au. So Cheryl Bentley now is on course in our show jumping arena, riding Fob Dubai. All just outside of Innisfail is where she bases herself. A Another great combination competing here at this year's 116th Cairns Show. Thanks, Cheryl. Real badly and pop your by, carrying 20 jumping penalties. Don't forget, boys and girls, the next heat of the duck racings at Melville Zenilwall Farm is coming up at 4 p.m. this afternoon. So not too far away. We have a look at our clock now, and the time is 3:24. They're located over near the machinery exhibition area. Make sure you do go over and check out the wonderful machinery display here at this year's show. Finch Farm Leonardo and Dallas Bailey, the next combination on course. Predator Dallas Bailey in a time of 36.68. All clear. On course now. We have Mr. Ron Easy, life member of the Cairn Show Society from Kapolly in New South Wales. Sponsors, thank you very much. And thank you to all of our volunteers. show jumping reader. Time of 91.28 and 12 jumping penalties for Zoe Grant. Results now for class number 1099, the working stock horse. The working stock horse winner this afternoon was Pat Jenke with his nomination. Scotch and Dry, third place. Second place, I should say, Talina Young riding Polly. And our third place ribbon has been awarded to Caden Hosey with Secret Heart Cheyenne. So congratulations to our working stock horse competitors in ring number 3. Kelly Buckingham is our next rider, and she's riding her beautiful chestnut white-face horse, Finch Farm Cornetto, in our show jumping arena. It's our second last show jumping championship class today. And a big thank you to Underwood Party Hire, their wonderful sponsorship of this class. To Louis Underwood and the team from Underwood Party Hire, your event specialists. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Camco Television, looking after the big screen and the live stream feed that is going right around Australia. They're a Cairns-based company. Michael Patini and the team, they do a wonderful job. So thank you very much, gentlemen. Kelly Buckingham and Finch Farm Cornetto, the Mariba combination, making their way around our course set by our local course builder, Mr. Rob Button. competitor, Danielle Cab, riding CC.
And we have our first results coming through from our Gypsy Cobs, and that was for class number 1049, Britton Gelding, 13.2 hands and under. Marjorie Perks, with her beautiful gelding Painted Warrior, was first place. They also received the championship, so congratulations, Margie. Lovely exhibit, lovely to see the Gypsy Cob horses here at this year's Cairns Show. And they're beautiful in colour. Your beautiful feathers are presented in pristine condition. As we said, wonderful history. The Gypsy horses. We said the Gypsy horses usually, but not always piebald. Also be maybe a skewbald or solid colour. A solid coloured horse with white splashing on the underbelly is called Black Dawn or Splashed. The range in desired heights is generally from 13 to 16 hands or 52 to 64 inches. You can see their beautiful feathering. They have long hair on the legs. Considered a characteristic and decorative feature of the Irish cob, but is not a requirement for registration. But 38.86, all clear for Danielle Kemp and CC. 38.86. Now Taylor Russell coming forward in our show jumping arena. So Taylor Russell from just down at the Burdekin region. Next to go. Fella's a wonderful thoroughbred trainer. And a partner Dylan, of course, training thoroughbreds. They're competing here on the North Queensland show run year after year. A lot of success in this arena at past Cairns shows. Young daughter Miley Russell was winner of our first show jumping class earlier on this morning. So the one rail down for Kayla Russell, so 4 jumping penalties. Looks like it'll be Ron Easy coming forward now. Ron Easy and Hills included, our final combination from Kapolly in New South Wales. Hills included the black gelding that Ron Easy is riding, was foaled on the 2nd of December 2012. He had 12 racing starts. He is sired by Snappy Halo, who was an Argentinian bred stallion out of an Australian bred brown mare called Conclude. Next run, that was Ron Easy riding Hills included. 39.46 is the time, and all clear for Ron Easy here this afternoon. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that will complete our show jumping event here this afternoon. That was our AM7 championship class, sponsored by Underwood Party Hire. We will have our official presentation very shortly, and as soon as our results come through, I will inform you who our winner and our place getters are. But congratulations to all of our competitors. Big thank you to Cairns Taxis, the #1 passenger transport company in Cairns. Servicing the Cairns community faithfully since 1966, Cairns Taxis has been a long-time supporter of the Cairns Show Association, has worked closely with them to ensure safe passage to all show goers to and from the show. 7 Local News, our sponsors of Centre Stage in Centering. 7 is Australia's most watched broadcast television platform and continues to lead prime-time breakfast and morning television, building their market-leading performance over the past decade. 7 News Cairns, presented by Rob Ruff and Joe Desmond, 6 p.m. weeknights. Telstra has a long-standing commitment to provide connectivity to regional, rural and remote areas. Oasis Magazine, since 2013, Oasis Magazine has been Cairns' favourite locally produced lifestyle magazine. Bendigo Bank cares for the Cairns community. That's why they are one of our major partners here at this year's 116th running of the show. Will also take care of their customers, have the best chance of obtaining the Australian dream, and that is home ownership. McLeod's Painting, our Cairns locals and your protective coating specialist. Our big floor sale is now on, so take advantage of the great deals on epoxy coating for your garage, interior floors and benches or commercial showrooms. They're just some of our wonderful partners here at this year's 116th running of the Cairns Show.